Figure Friday. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Hopefully your week is going well. We had a good Thursday yesterday. I had a lot of fun working on this model on Wednesday, so I thought I'd continue and start working on a couple other ones that are also going to be some conversion work. This one turned out well. We've got the Slaanesh shoulder pad here, the Spellcrow head, this different Thunderhammer arm, and then I didn't do some of the extra effects, so it's a conversion. Oh, and then of course I put the screaming head on the casualty down there on the base. So what else can we add to it? Well, I definitely need to do work on this Thunderhammer. It's way too plain for a Chaos Space Marine. I was looking at the original weapon that this model is supposed to have. I was thinking about maybe cutting off the blade right before the eye, because we don't want the eye. That's iconography that doesn't go with the Emperor's Children. So I was thinking of cutting off the blade right there and attaching the blade to the back end of the hammer. That could be cool, right? So it would be like that for the Emperor Friday. Well, when I'm playing this faction, that's the corpse Emperor to you. So let's snip this off. That thing's gonna go flying. That's okay. Now the trick is gonna be to get this flat and straight, or at least as close as possible. See, the idea is to do it. Oh, let's see how we can hold it like that. I think that'll look cool. It's big. It'll also give me some more detail to paint once it's all together. So I'm going to try it. Let's try it. Throw some glue on, see what happens. Remember that tomorrow morning, early for us here in the United States, Games Workshop is going to be doing a big preview event. So on the War Room stream tomorrow afternoon, we'll cover that. Everything they talk about. And they are promising a quote-unquote new game. Now, whether that's a new version of an old game or something entirely new, who knows? Okay, so I need to hold this very still and let it, again with the plastic glue, let it start to attach, and then I can mess with it before it fully dries. That. Do some minute adjustments. I think this will work. Like that. What do we think? Although interesting, with the blade on there, it kind of looks like he's going to just stab with that rather than swing the hammer over, but that's okay. Maybe both. Stab and smash. Get yourself a man who can do both, right? Cool. All right, let that try. So Erdinsk, originally all of the Space Marines were created by and fought for the Emperor, and then half of them split off to join Chaos and became Chaos Space Marines. So they still, recognize that the Emperor is a powerful dude, but they make fun of him and call him all sorts of silly names. And because the Emperor is essentially dead, or at least completely incapacitated while sitting on the Golden Throne, they refer to him as the Corpse Emperor. And all that sort of thing. Okay, let me leave that. I'm going to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't droop while it's fully solidifying. Because I've had that happen before. You glue something, it's kind of at a weird angle. You leave it aside, you come back, and it's gone. Whoop! Completely fallen over. I don't want that to happen. Okay. Now, in the old days, in the very, very old days, Games Workshop models, the original ones were metal. I talked a little bit about this the other day. And then they were resin. Now they're mostly plastic, but Games Workshop still does some resin. They actually still do a handful of things still in metal, which is crazy. It is just cost of materials over the years and how that's changed, and manufacturing capabilities. Even to this day, you can get a little bit more detail in resin than you can in plastic, but you have to run the molds slightly differently. It's a whole complicated thing. But when you get models that look like this is what Games Workshop refers to as Citadel Finecast. So Finecast is their version of resin. Finecast resin, they call it. And most, I don't know about most, but a lot of model companies have their own proprietary blend of resin that they use. So you'll see people call their resin with different names. It's resin. Now, when asked a question like Erden's did, is one of them better than the others? So this is called Finecast. The fans of Games Workshop refer to this as Failcast. Now, why is that? Well, even looking at this, you can see there's a bunch of extra garbage on here. All of these things I have to cut off and trim and smooth, because these are the supports where the resin flows through the mold. You'll see a lot of parts are really wobbly and bended. Finecast is super soft. It's not the best material. Wherever possible, we try to get models that are not Finecast. But again, some of these old ones, that's all we got. I'm going to need to continue to work on that until it completely solidifies. So the process is the same as doing... Yeah, well, they're going to be claws. The claws are actually on this sprue. All this crap has to be trimmed off for those to attach. Yeah, Finecast, it's... I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just... Again, mainly it's that it's so soft. And you just have to really be careful of all these bits that have to be trimmed off. Yeah, there's definitely a reason why people refer to it as Failcast. And again, on most of these, like, I could just pop them off by hand, but I want to try to get as close a shave as possible on these things. Now this one that I'm working on, that I showed on Wednesday, is the actual model for the Chaos Lord with Jump Pack. So essentially, this unit is what I'm replicating using this model. And you can outfit these characters with a bunch of different weapons. So this one happens, the one they made here has 2 lightning claws, but there's a bunch of other stuff you could do with these. Oh, man. Yeah, so like here's another. So his feet end in these claws, right? Which look pretty cool. But if you can, I don't know how well you can see, but this support right here, it just goes right into the claw. Right through the side of it. So I'm going to attempt to trim that where it's not going to do too much damage to the actual model, but either way I'm going to end with a weird... You know what? I don't even think I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to cut it. Alright, not too bad. Does this one say what year it came out? Sometimes the years are printed on there. Ooh, Games Workshop. Does it say 06? That seems like it's too recent. I don't know. Now there are some models that were originally Finecast that they've since redone in plastic, so that's good. Look for those if possible. Now I think these claws are, yeah, it's a flat piece, so I should be able to just trim all of these right at the root. Or just cut them off and then trim with the knife after. Probably easier. Resin everywhere. Okay. You know what? Again, it's so soft. I'm just gonna cut through like that. Pop that out. This one also has a ton of weird little bits on the bottom, so I have to make sure I'm cutting the right parts. So the feet, he attaches to his base by this decorative thing here, but within that there are extra supports that I have to cut out. So again, you got to be really careful. Often check the picture, which parts to cut out, which parts not to cut out. Hey, Black Cavalier. Yeah, so I'm converting the Haarken Worldclaimer Black Legion model into an Emperor's Children Chaos Jump Pack Lord, which is going very well. I like the things I'm doing to it. But then I decided to open up this ancient Finecast Jump Lord as well, which, you know, has its own set of challenges, being Finecast. Alright, at least he's free. Ugh. Now this is another model that I will be customizing, mainly because of his head. Or his face, at least. And it's not going to be easy, because the way they designed this is kind of annoying. Get rid of these bits. Okay, I think that's all the big pieces gone. You can see, I mean, it is very well detailed. Nowadays, Games Workshop could do this in plastic. It doesn't have to be resin for them to get this level of detail. But that head is awful. Oh, and it's so sunken in. I'm gonna have to dig that thing out. Also, because this is one piece, like I wish I could replace the shoulder pad with, which again I could. It's just it would be a lot of work to just cut, trim that thing off, and put something in its place. Oh, these claws are gonna be a nightmare. Okay. Also, with these old ones, some of them have these slot bases, so you need this. I gotta trim that some more anyway. But they've since changed the base size, so this is actually not a legal base size for this model. But thankfully I have bags and bags of bases, so not a big deal. Yeah, I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to want to work on today. It's going to be a huge pain. This other one, though, is interesting. Space Marines have... There are books and books and books devoted to talking about the Space Marines as essentially as organizations, as... I don't know if I'd say bureaucracies, but that's not too far off. So if you get into the really technical stuff, the Space Marine chapter is divided up into different companies. Each company has a captain, and then different captains have some different titles that are mostly for show. But occasionally they've done models reflecting these specific ones. So this guy here is a Space Marine captain who is also the master of the rites. And what does that mean? You know what? Offhand, I don't remember. It means he's the captain of, I don't know, like the 6th company or something, whatever. But they gave him a fancy model. He's got this little speaker thing that he's talking into. Now these models are cool because they've got a lot of detail. They're essentially they're unique versions of Space Marines. He's got this weird rod of office that you don't really see on anything else. I know you all know what I'm thinking when I look at this model, what I'm going to have to change. So we'll see how easy it is to swap a new head on here and what this model looks like. So again, we've got Finecast, not ideal. Games Workshop Limited. I thought more of these had the dates stamped on them. I guess not. Oh, 2013. Okay, well, that's not that old. They just never updated this guy to plastic. These models will also come and go a lot in the Games Workshop online store. You don't typically find these models in physical stores, but sometimes. And like I said, they'll go in and out of stock a lot more than, you know, current plastic models. And then sometimes they'll just be discontinued suddenly. Look at all the supports on that. It's so annoying. There's a cool pack they released that I want to dig into one of these days soon. But it's called Masters of the Chapter. So they're essentially, it's 4 elite. You can play them as captains or chapter masters or whatever, but they're 4 dudes just with loads and loads of detail. One of them with a power sword, one of them with a power axe, or a couple with swords, one with a thunder hammer. Super cool models. Again, all resin Finecast. So, oop, that one just popped right off. Okay. Cool. All helmetless. So I need a whole bunch of helmets to replace the heads in these. But that is what I do. It also means I'll have that many more heads I can use for other things like victims on bases. Okay. Yeah, this head is awful. Not using it. And again, of course, with all this resin, I spent all night scrubbing. Hey, Emily. Yeah, most models for the vast majority of models for Warhammer, you do have to build. So it just depends on the model to see how many parts it's going to have and how difficult it's going to be. Some models are what they call easy to build, which means you don't need any glue. You just push. The models they're also called push fit. So those are the easiest ones. Most of them, though, you do need to build them. Which is the fun and the I do like building. That's definitely my thing. I will be painting more, I promise. Okay, and I'm supposed to leave little studs on here, so not cut this all the way down. So many connecting points. Oh, one more. I thought that was it. And there we go. Free. So again, eventually it's going to look like this. Oh, Emily, yeah. So on these, yeah, and it just depends on the model. Like I said, some of them have more parts than others. So with these, yeah, some of them are more one piece than others, but even that one, like, you need to add a head, a left arm, and a backpack. But yeah, sometimes they'll be more pre-put together than other ones. So for instance, this guy is 5 parts. We've got the main body, backpack, arm, and then this thing, which is actually completely separate, that just attaches to his base. And yeah, it doesn't even fit on his foot or anything, just kind of sits there next to him. Okay, and now let the trimming begin. So with these things being these weird old models, I'm not planning on doing too much conversion to them. They look unique enough on their own. Most people do not have these models in their armies. And again, they're not impossible to get. It's just they're a little bit more rare because stores don't typically stock them. Oh, yeah, and see, I don't know if you can see right here, but there's a bunch. No, I don't know. There's a bunch of extra resin flash in here that I have to trim out. But yeah, they're unique enough that just with a head swap, they'll stand out. Come on. There's another one of these specific captain guys. That's a really cool model. I have it somewhere. I actually couldn't find it. He's got a jump pack with a big axe, so that one's pretty cool. I'll have to dig that one out. Okay, so then another thing you got to do when you're doing resin is you have to hunt for extra resin that flowed in between parts that are supposed to be separate, and just trim trim, trim. It helps to be nearsighted. Also, definitely keep any pictures handy, so you know what to trim and what's part of the model. Sometimes it's not super easy to tell, especially with this one with these flowing robes. It's like, wait, is that a part of a robe, or is that just some extra resin that got caught? There we go. Yeah, well, I happen to be nearsighted, so I can see models a lot better than than things far away, at least without my glasses on. But as a hobbyist, I'll take it. If I had to choose one, I'll choose the one I have. Alright, this is almost done on this side. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, basically anywhere where there's a fold or something sticking out, you just have to look through and make sure there aren't extra bits. Oh man, there's so much. At least it cleans up pretty easily. No, Emily, so you have a little bit of both. Well, hey, at least you can always close one eye and then be able to see whatever it is you want to look at, right? There we go. Oh, there's a little bit more. Yeah, I've worn glasses since I was little. Oh, and then like here, there's a little tassel that comes down near his holster. So of course, there's a little piece of resin connecting them. I don't want that. Okay, I think that's going to be good enough. Understood, Emily. Both your eyes. I think I cleaned this guy up enough. At least first glance. Oh, and some of these pieces also have these really weird connectors for where their parts go together. So this one, he's got a big triangle sticking out of his shoulder, and in theory, his arm will have a corresponding triangle that will fit there. That actually fits pretty well. Sometimes they don't. Okay, body is good. Let's look at this arm piece. Yeah. Now it's interesting with this one. Typically when you play Warhammer, you play with what you see is what you get. So you're encouraged that your models actually have on them whatever weapons or war gear or special things that you're paying for them to use in the game. But with special models like this, sometimes they just kind of have random stuff. So this thing that he's holding is not an actual weapon in the codex. It doesn't do anything. I don't think there are any special rules for this guy. It's just something you can swap out for a captain or a chapter master. So you would just have to decide what you are equipping him with. I mean, he does have a pistol holster, but you'd have to just assign it and then let your opponent know what it is you're playing with. Hey, Rabbit Wombat. Good morning. Happy Friday. We're having loads of fun with Finecast. Just the easiest thing to work with. Not frustrating at all. All right. I think that'll work. Okay. Arm is done. Oh, moving on to the backpack. Yeah, that's true. Stickers are the worst thing ever. Oh, does everybody here know that there are a bunch of bands out in the world that use Warhammer as inspiration for their songs and for their artwork? That's a thing. So a friend of mine who has zero interest in or knowledge of Warhammer saw a new album cover and sent it to me thinking, hey, this is like those little guys you play, right? So this is the new album from a band called Ultra Nightmare. Their new album called Exterminatus. Look at that. Damn. Don't let Games Workshop see. You can maybe guess what Ultra Nightmare sounds like based on the artwork. I don't think you'd be far off. Not exactly my cup of tea when it comes to music, but it's interesting. And yeah, this album is entirely Warhammer 40k themed. I think each song is named after something, and yeah, it's cool artwork though. I also think that Ultra Nightmare is just one dude who makes music in his house. I don't think it's like a real, not that that's not real music, but you know, I don't think it's a big endeavor. So even if he got hit, I think it would just be a cease and desist. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Oh, to all my Babylon 5 friends, did you hear the sad news yesterday? The actress who played Delenn passed away. Straczynski wrote a really, really nice thing on his Twitter. Come on, go away. Yeah, I guess she had been ill with something. I don't know. They're keeping the details kind of quiet for now, but so it was not completely unexpected, but it was still obviously bad news. And then someone brought up, man, that cast has had so many deaths. Even, you know, not too long after they stopped shooting that show. It's crazy. Yeah, Erdens, that's the thing with eyeballs. That if you have one eyeball that does one thing, another one that does the other, that they'll try to compensate. Sometimes better than others, but it's really fascinating how that works. Now, you might not even know you need glasses for certain situations because your other eye has learned to help out so much. So this is the decorative piece that goes with this guy. I think, what would you call this in the Warhammer world? Is this a loud hailer? Some sort of Vox mechanism? It's got a lot of little twisty bits at the bottom. Ugh, that resin is just gross. The chains are all filled in and clunky. Okay, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I gotta trim all of these little nubs. Why so many nubs? Now on here, so here it shows that, see how there's little notches that go around. And I don't know how you're supposed to keep those all looking even when they each one of those had a resin support coming off of it. So to cut those off, kind of all jagged. Maybe I'll just trim them all off. It doesn't need it. I'm doing it. Trimming them off. This guy's gonna have the sleekest loud hailer the Empire, the Imperium of Man can produce. Good. This part of the top is so fragile. I'm trying very hard not to knock it off. Okay. Let's see. Of course, it too has some extra resin on it. Certain things you need to look for when you're dealing with resin, some issues that typically pop up. Bubbles. So what are bubbles? Bubbles occur when the liquid resin goes into the mold and doesn't completely fill in all the spaces, and you get tiny air bubbles. It happens even in very expensive models you get from Forge World. Basically, you just have to deal with it on your own. You'll need to fill it in with some sort of a gap filler, but it's just something to keep an eye out for. This one is pretty good. I'll show you an example. So if you look at on your screen, the left side wing, there's a little notch on the top, and that's just a little, oh man, it's gonna be hard to show, but it is there. There's a little notch where the resin didn't fully form in the top of the wing. It's fine. It's very minor. But sometimes you'll see a pattern of little tiny bubbles. Okay, I think I've finally cleaned this guy up enough. Like I said, he came with a teeny tiny itty bitty base. Not legal anymore. Also, really not enough room to fit him and his loud hailer on it, so I'm going to get him a bigger base. I'll just go with one of these. Yeah, and the bubbles can be minor enough that you just ignore it. But if they're big enough that you're gonna see it even when you paint it, then you need some sort of a gap filler to rub on there. Or again, that's where the liquid green stuff is really good, because you can just sort of paint it on. Okay, all right, this guy needs a head. Let's get out the tray of heads, see if we find something appropriate. Should we give him an intercessor head? That'd look cool. One of these days I need to organize my heads. I need more drawers. Mark forehead, intercessor head, Phobos head, unhelmeted head. Yeah, I gotta organize these one day. So many heads. Okay, we've got intercessor head. Could work. Thinking the Mark IV might be best. Give it a little old school look. Yeah, let's do that. No beaky helmets. No unhelmeted heads. Not in my army. Look at this. Okay, this is one of the... Look at that. That's awful. That is just an awful sculpt. He's bald. He's yelling. Ugh. He's got like weird marks all over his head. His one eye is droopy. That's hideous. No, thank you. Of course, this needs to be trimmed as well. So with a new head, this becomes another conversion. See, it's as easy as that. Convert with a head. One part can make a model a conversion. Now this is a resin Mark IV Space Marine helmet. Scott, where did you get a resin Mark IV Space Marine helmet? I'll never say. You can get resin ones from Forge World. I don't think that's where I got this one. Let's see here. Okay, definitely going to need to do some trimming. The head hole is a little bit narrower than usual because it was just supposed to have that bear head go in here. Bear as in unhelmeted, not bear as in ursine. That'd be cool to do a bear themed. Rabbit Wombat, you didn't hear that from me. I don't know where this head came from. I'm gonna glue his arm on first. Again, resin parts, so we need to use super glue rather than plastic glue. Don't forget. And yes, it is gap fill-in. To some degree, at least. No, I don't know anybody who would use bootleg parts and entire models, heads. No way. And then he's got his cool backpack. I guess I could put that on now. So with that on there, that should work. It's definitely going to look weird until I at least primer it with the different color resin pieces. A nice glob of super glue in there. Yeah, that should work. It looks so tiny. After dealing with so many Primaris Marines working on these, especially these old ones, they're really little. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Forge World, I mean, you blink and they'll remove entire lines of product. There was just an email, what was it, last night, this morning, about, like, some more stuff is going to go out of stock, so buy everything you want right now. Like, okay. I mean, I'm sure, yes, that is true, but they're always putting things in and out of stock. Oh, I'm so jealous. I saw on Facebook, and a bunch of people got their Salt Harvets model in. I didn't, because it's sold out before I could complete my order. We'll see if they ever make more. It has the typical sign up here for an email when this product comes back in stock, which I did, so we'll see. Snorsus. Excuse me. Welcome. It's morning here, but good evening to you. All right, so there we have our teeny tiny Master of the Rites.
I found that.
He's got his backpack. Oh, very cool.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a replacement head. He's got his little rod. And then I just have to attach him to the base with this groovy extra piece he has. Oh, well, good luck, Emily. Have a good day and a good weekend. So I am going to put him offset so this thing will have some room. Could probably even go for a bigger base, but that's okay. I don't know how much I'm ever actually going to use this model. No, it's good, Snorsus. I guess we have people all over the world who tune in. Oh my goodness. The children are back in the house. They are very loud. Yeah, that should work. Just put him pretty back. Now, I'll be good. I'm not going to glue this piece on because that'll make it impossible to paint everything. So I am going to leave this separate, but he can be mounted on his base at least. All right, let's go back and look at our Lord. Okay, that piece went on well. It's still not fully dry, so I'm not going to play with it too much. Now, where did that chain of skulls go? Here it is. So remember that on this Thunderhammer, excuse me, the original part had, let's see if we can get that in focus. Come on. There we go. So the original piece had two hands on the Thunderhammer, this hand and a hand here that I trimmed off. So I mean, there was a hand on there, so you can't get it fully clean. There's going to be some remnant of the plastic. But I was looking to see what else I could sort of put on there. Maybe add a little decorative piece to cover that spot. So, yeah, but I don't want to make it too bulky on this side because The head of the hammer is the part of the weapon that I'd rather emphasize. And I am going to do some more stuff up there as well. Oh shoot, that's what I was going to look for. Hey babe, do you still have all those little plastic skulls?
Like when I made my mold out of it?
Yeah. Are those around? Okay. Shoot. Yeah, that's true, Rabbit Wombat. I could make a little banner to hang down. That would work. And then I had an idea for the head of the hammer, but I forgot to check in on where those parts are. So not today. Let's take a look in the bits box and see what we have. Well, excuse me, one of my bits boxes. So we've got all sorts of things from big old demon arms, vehicle parts, random bits of sprues, these old basic push fit Marines. I've got a few of those in case I ever want to use those as parts. A lot of vehicle weapons for things where you can swap them out. Oh, I should put this on his back. That'd work. That'd be legal, right? Some more heads. Whole bunch of Chaos Space Marine heads. Terminator arms. Backpacks. Horns. Horns could be good. Horns, claws. These are mostly things from the Warp Talon kit. They have a lot of claws. Oh, there's another horn. Horns are great, especially for Emperor's Children models, because they are, say it with me, they are horny. But sticks. And there's just a bunch of, yeah, like I said, with these trophy racks, I got trophy racks from Terminators, I got trophy racks from vehicles. I have some random grot parts in here. Grot heads. Demon cloak. Yeah. Fun. I was actually thinking on this. What if I gave him some other lightning claws? Yeah, it'd be tough to cut the. Oh well. Would it destroy the coolness of the hammer if I added horns onto it? Or spikes onto the actual hammer heads themselves? I know that would make it look weird. But I need to chaos up this hammer in some way. It's definitely too normal looking. And I like, because I added the spear blade here on the bottom, but now it's not balanced. I need to beef up this side now with something. Yeah, that's true. If I do it on the non swinging side. Let's start with that. Let's see what that looks like. I typically don't spend the time trimming my bits before I put them in the bits box, which is frustrating when you pull something out and you want to just use it, because then it's like, oh wait, no, it's just like I took it off the sprue. I gotta trim it first. But that would be a lot of extra work on some of these kits that come with a bunch of extra parts, to do all the trimming on those just to stick it in the box. Erdinsk, that is a very good point. Physics, not important when it comes to Warhammer. Especially when you're dealing with chaos stuff. I mean, these are people who live in the warp. That looks cool. I'm going to do some green stuff work to make it smooth, but that's neat. I like that. Just want to get it mostly straight. Mostly. Okay. Remember that tomorrow we will have the Saturday Warhammer War Room stream at 2 p.m. Pacific. Jessica and I, we do have another special guest lined up for tomorrow. I hope you've been enjoying the guests the last 2 weeks. I thought they've been pretty fun. Talking to some friends of ours who are Warhammer enthusiasts, offering some other interesting points of view, stories about how people got into the hobby. The guest is Nurgle, that's right. Turn up your smell-o-vision. We definitely need Bert to come on at some point. Bert, I will reveal, Bert is a very busy man. It's not easy to schedule Bert for things. But I'm sure he'll come on at some point. He has like a day job that's a really crazy one. It's always working. He's got a dog. I don't know. Dogs are crazy. Alright, so this is coming along. Again, I'll need to do some work to smooth that connection there where it attaches. It's kind of raw, but it looks cool. It looks like it's kind of like growing out of the hammer. And I'll look around. I was thinking of if I had some little tiny skulls to mount them over where these little tiny indented skulls are, which would be cool. I just have to find... I know I have some... and it sounds stupid, but I know I have some skulls around here somewhere. Just have to find them. Ooh, or maybe heads. If I took some unhelmeted Space Marine heads and essentially just chopped off the front of their faces and stuck them on. Be pretty gruesome. Might be too big. Oh no, I'll look. That could work. Let's see. Yeah, Games Workshop and the Tau are, I don't know, a love-hate relationship. Oh, would that be too horrific to put actual Space Marine heads on there? I don't know.
No, just put up. Like clean up.
I'll think about it.
What?
See if I have the parts that would fit there. But that could be something. I don't know. Yeah, no, there have been times over the years when the Tau have been very competitive, and then Games Workshop says never again. No, it just depends on the focus of the edition and the rules. But yeah, the Tau used to have, there was I forget what they called it. What was the devilfish triangle, something like that? But there was an edition of Warhammer where the Tau could do this specific kind of move that would essentially make their models, their infantry, like immune to getting charged because of the way you set up your transports around them. I don't know, it's a famous old thing. This is long before I was playing, but essentially it made the Tau like unbeatable because you just have to shoot them and they would shoot you back. Well, this guy is just adorable. He is just so tiny. And then yeah, one day when I paint, then he'll have this thing to go with him. And then I will proceed to never actually use this in a game. But it'll look cool. The other ones I'll use, like I was showing these things. These models are much more more martial. They're ready for a fight. Oh, so much trimming I'm gonna have to do on these things. Not looking forward to that. Where's the other head? Yeah, so again, all of these came, because these are all chapter masters, they all come with unhelmeted heads, because they are high-ranking Space Marines. The higher the rank, the less likely you are to wear a helmet in Warhammer 40k, which is so dumb. I mean, it's fine. Hey Zardoz, I've got some old Finecast models that we're playing with. I built a Master of the Rites with a new head, of course. And his little speaker system, so you can rock out, headbang, play some Skrillex. Right, exactly. You shoot the ones without helmets. And then I started to look at this one, and it's just a nightmare of trimming resin bits off of here. So I just kind of gave up. I also have to figure out the easiest way to dig out this really awful head that he has, so I can put something cooler in there. Ugh. What are you, like a crappy vampire? I don't even know. It's even, again, these things, they're even ugly in the art, in the official like paint. No, I don't want that. I don't want that on my model. Don't look at me like that. So, we'll fix it. Thank you for the follow, Albertus Omen. Yeah, but again, with all these unhelmeted heads, I might use them as decorations on my on this Jump Lord's gigantic thunderhammer that continues to evolve into a more and more complicated weapon. Stay. Who knows? So yeah, go listen to Ultraviolence. Yeah, that base Lord's head is just awful. I don't recommend that one. Go listen to Ultraviolence. Tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow again is War Room stream at 2 p.m. with Jessica and a special guest. I'm not going to reveal it. You'll have to show up and see. And then of course we have the group stream tomorrow. Get this head. I mean, I could trim. I mean, it's gonna be a mess for sure. It's so sunken in and thick. Yeah, it's not gonna be fun, but. Well, I'm not too worried about what the back of it looks like, because at least a lot of it will be hidden by the backpack. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but I'm not fielding a model with this head on it. That's for sure. Yeah, but again, like, you're not going to see it. And especially if I use one of these cool heads with the plumes or something, there's going to be enough stuff in the way. And it's bigger. I'm not too worried about the cable stuff. Yes, Arnaz, I did see the message. I will respond to you today. Rabid Wombat, stop talking about beaky helmets. No, never a beaky helmet. Not in my army. I pull all those things off. Yes. So yeah, tomorrow War Room stream, and then Home Buddies group stream tomorrow night. I forget what we're doing. What are we doing on the group stream? I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be super fun, super exciting. I do need to get going, unfortunately. I'd love to build more of these models, but I got family stuff to do today. Very busy day. Let's see, who is online? Anybody? 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 Back to Twitch. Yes, things. So many things. It would blow your mind if you knew how many things. As usual, if I don't see you for all of the streams that are going on tomorrow, just have a great weekend. Would you? Be good. Say hi to your family. Or friends. If you don't like your family. That's fine. Yeah, I'm just going to get going. Okay. Yeah, hopefully I'll see everybody tomorrow for War Room stream at 2 p.m. Pacific. Okay, bye.